Hi there, I'm back in the Peak District on another winter wild camp just below Bleaklow, which is a massive expanse of moorland which rises up to about 2,000 feet. And I'm going to be camping at a place called Higher Shelfstones, which is a group of rocks high up on the moorland. And I'm going to be visiting an interesting historical site on this camp, which is I think is really interesting. I'm not going to reveal too much about it at the moment, but all I can say, it is related to the period just after the Second World War and the development of the nuclear bomb. But more about that later in the video. I'm going to get my gear together now and head off, and I'll fetch you back a little bit later. Cheers. I've just managed to get away from that busy Snake Pass road. There's a few people about today, I presume because it's such a nice day. But this time of the day, it's around about 2 o'clock, so most people will be coming down or going home, and I'm going up. To avoid that's the way to avoid all the crowds. But this section of the walk up to Shelfstones is it's a virtually a good solid hard path, but in about half a mile it does just go back to a normal, muddy path at this time of the year. We're actually on the Pennine Way, which is that long distance footpath that goes from Edale to Kirkyetholm in Scotland. I did that actually in 1973 with a mate of mine. It was a fantastic, it's 14 days. It was a fantastic 14 days. The gear wasn't as good then though, was it? Very heavy, carrying a primer stove, a brass primer stove, big heavy canvas rucksacks, heavy tent, everything was heavy. I was only 19 at the time, so I suppose I could manage it then. I certainly couldn't use that gear nowadays. It would absolutely bloody kill me. We're now at a place called Doctor's Gate. You see a couple of people there. That path goes down into Glossop. Here's a signpost, it's a bridle way, and this part of the path, or bridle way, heads down to the Snake Road, near the Snake Inn, what used to be the Snake Inn, and that road heads off towards Hope and Castleton in the Derbyshire Peak District. And we're heading off this way now, and you can see that hill in the background just in the centre of the picture. That's Higher Shelfstones, so that's where we're heading. I'm hoping to get up to the site about 3:30, something like that. That'll give me time to get me tent up, get myself sorted out. The last wild camp video I did was up on Kinder. Now the difference with Kinder, even though it's got a plateau around the edge of the Kinder, you've got lots of features, with rocks and cliffs and the downfall, which the water runs off the River Kinder down into the valley. There's loads of features, so it's a different kind of video this really, because there isn't that many features, and I suppose that's the nice thing about the Peak District. It's got so many variations in landscape and things like that. As we get further up and I'll get some more shots, you'll see why it's called Bleaklow. Because it is bleak. And I came out today really because I was looking at the weather forecast, and basically the next few days it looks like it's going to be absolutely rubbish, the weather, and this was the only decent day. So I thought, right, come on, motivate yourself, pull your finger out and get up there. So it did take a bit to climb out of bed this morning. Anyway, we're here now, and that's the main thing, isn't it? So I'll fetch you back a bit further up. Cheers. We've got a little bit further to go along Devil's Dyke. And the turn off should be in about 20 minutes. We'll turn left and then head up to Higher Shelfstones. I can see them from here. They're Not that far now, really. These are the flags that have been put down really for the Pennine Way. It's such a heavy use across here. When I came over here in '73 for the Pennine Way, I've been up back since, but then there was none of these flags. It was just bog, really. A very wet, usually a very wet path. But so part of it's to do with conservation, stop the erosion. In one or two spots, you find that the flags have actually sunk, like here, for instance. I mean, to be honest, most of them are just floating on the peat. Well, this is where we turn off now, up to higher shelf stones. Hopefully I'll be there in the next 25 minutes, something like that. Wow, look at that for a view. Absolutely fantastic. Do a 360. Shelf stones is just to the right of the sun. And in the distance there, we've got the Kinder Plateau, the north side. Sandy haze at that end where it slopes off. And that side there, Bearbrook Knees. What a fantastic view. Absolutely brilliant. Well, I've arrived at Higher Shelfstones trig point. Just got to drop down to the lee side of the summit here. Quite windy at the moment. So I'll find a sheltered pitch. So I'll fetch you back once I'm down there. Cheers. I think I found my little spot here. It's fairly sheltered. So the clag's coming in now. These are the higher shelf stones above me, and over there got lower shelf stones. It's getting very atmospheric. I've got my tent sorted out now. The stove's all ready to go. So it's about 5 o'clock now. As you can see, the clags come down. It's amazing really, because when I set off, as you can see from the video, it was really sunny. When I got to the trig point at Shelfstones, just as I was approaching it, the cloud suddenly came in and it's stuck here now. Although behind me it's a little bit brighter, so I should imagine the cloud level is probably around Glossop, just above Glossop. But my hands are absolutely freezing now, so I'm going to get a brew on and then I've got to get into my warm gear. Okay, I've got my stove on now. Got some water boiling up. I'm going to make myself a coffee. It's getting really cold now and the wind's getting up a bit now as well. So the lid's just flown off the top of the stove. I'll have to go outside now and get that. Oh, lovely. Saved myself my old Greg's cup on the way up here. I forgot my plastic one, so I thought, oh, might as well have this. I've got my coffee now. I managed to close the door a bit. It's blowing a bit outside now. It's quite cold. That's made quite a difference actually, just closing that canopy a bit. Anyway, I'm going to have this coffee. Then I've got to put my meal on. The last camp I had those dehydrated food, but I wasn't really impressed. So I've got the wet ones. I'm going to boil it up in the, well, you put the bag in the stove and heat it up in the in its packet. I think with these meals, it's a bit swings and roundabouts, isn't it? Because yes, dehydrated is lighter to carry, but you've got to carry the extra water, haven't you, to kind of heat it up. Whereas if I put some water in there and boil it up, I can use that water for a drink. So I think it's a bit swings and roundabouts, and to be honest, I think these do taste better. Well, I managed to heat up my spaghetti bolognese. Not too bad. It definitely tastes better than that dehydrated stuff. Definitely. But it's just a little bit messier. And you need a long spoon. I'll just drop that inside. It's a bit of a mess now. At the beginning of the walk, I did mention that I would kind of reveal what this interesting site was. Basically, just below Higher Shelstones is a crash site for a B-29 bomber, USAF bomber, which crashed in 1948. The crew thought they were actually descending. They thought they got over the high ground apparently and started to descend and miscalculated it and ploughed into the side of the hill here. So the wreckage is strewn all over the place. Tragically, I think it was about 11 crew died and 2 military passengers. But the interesting thing about it was that actually the aircraft itself was used in the Pacific on these, isolated islands where the Americans were testing the atom bomb, and they were used for aerial photography and to also analyse the impact it would have on warships. So I'm presuming that the Americans must have left maybe old warships, destroyers and stuff within the blast area of the bomb, and then afterwards to see what kind of damage ensued. But that this particular aircraft was used for that, for observation from the air. Unfortunately, I think it was flying from one air base in England over to Warrington. Near Warrington there's an air base, there used to be an USAF air base there, and crashed. But it's a really interesting little site. Obviously it's very sad, but it's still very interesting to see, and there's still a lot of wreckage. It's an actual proper, I think it's designated as a proper war cemetery type thing. Even though the pilots, the crew aren't buried here, I think it's kind of protected. Anyway, I'll see you in the morning. So I've got to say me good nights because I've got to settle down now and hopefully have a reasonable night's sleep. It is quite windy at the moment, so no doubt that's going to keep me awake. Well, the last camp it was very still. There was hardly anything. It does make quite a difference. Right, okay. Good night and see you in the morning. Cheers. Morning. It's 7:15 and I haven't had much sleep because it's been that windy during the night, very blustery. I'm just listening to the radio at the moment, just trying to give myself a bit of company. It's been such a long night. I'm just making a brew, something to do really before it gets light. I reckon in the next half an hour we're going to see a lot more light. The sun rises at 7:45, but it'll be a bit lighter before then. So I'm going to have my brew, I'm going to make some porridge, and as soon as it's light I'm going to start packing up, because outside the clag's down, won't be able to film anything, so I'll have to make a decision then whether I can film any more really, or just pack up and get off. Well, what time is it? 8:15, and I managed to get most of my gear packed away inside the tent. I've just got to drop the tent now, and then I'll be getting off. So I'll fetch you back once the tent's put away and the site's been checked over. Cheers. As always, leave no trace. All packed up now. As you can tell, it's very windy. The flag's down. I'm going to make my way up to the top of that hill there, to the trig point. I'm going to take a bearing from there back to the Pennine Way footpath. Well, back on the Pennine Way now, having dropped down from the high shelf stones. Devil's Dyke they call it. Not too far away from my car now. It's about another 15 minutes, 20 minutes to the Snake Pass. That's where I'll find my car, if it's still there, that is. Anyway, I just want to thank everybody for watching the video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Also, I'd like to say a thank you to all those people who subscribed to my channel following viewing my last Kinder video. I think I picked up about 30 odd subscribers. That's fantastic. I mean, I've only got a very small channel at the moment, but that's really significant. I really appreciate it, and also had a lot of likes and quite a few comments as well, which I replied to all of them. So again, just want to thank everybody for supporting on that last video, and hopefully you'll do the same on this one. And I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.